look at the camera. Look at the camera. No. Ah, it's a shame. But what is going on, friend? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Obviously, welcome to part 2 of the Q&A. Part 1, you guys asked some awesome questions, and if you haven't actually watched part 1 yet, I'll probably link in the description below for you, because obviously you guys have asked me so many questions. I need to split into 2 videos, right? And also as well in the description, I will link the timestamps for you for each question, so you can navigate each question of the ones you want to see in a bit more detail. And yeah, without further ado, let's dive straight into it. So Wanda George asked, do you have a cheat day or do you avoid sweets? Oh, that is a good question to start part 2 of this Q&A, right? So I've had cheat days in the past and I don't recommend them. Right? I feel like if you just restrict yourself 6 days in the week, the 7th day you're going to go nuts, especially if you have the whole day. It's like you're going to overindulge breakfast, which is going to make you feel awful. You're then going to overindulge lunch, which is going to make you feel worse. And by the time dinner comes, you're already in a food coma and you're not even enjoying the food anymore, right? But you just got to shove it all in because you've just been restricting yourself all week. It's not something I really recommend. As I said, I'm all about transforming your body while enjoying a healthy lifestyle. I think restricting yourself and then feeling miserable when you reward yourself with these types of foods you have on a cheat day, that's not the way to kind of go. It's not enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? I like to have like a cheat meal like once or twice a week, usually once a week. I do that, or I do an if it fits your macros approach per se midweek. If I'm invited to go out to eat, I'll literally just like fit it into my macros. So if I have burger and chips per se, as long as it fits my calories and macronutrient goals, I'm still on track with my goals. Do you know what I mean? So that's the way I approach it. Either a cheat meal once or twice a week, usually once, or if it fits your macros, by incorporating slightly unhealthier foods into your lifestyle. I typically avoid sweets because it's not good for my skin, and I primarily eat very clean as well, because obviously eating very clean is very important for like reducing skin inflammation. So that's my take on that. Proud Misfit asks, what's your take on combining bodyweight and resistance band training as opposed to combining with free weights? Yeah, that's a good question. So I would say resistance bands, I would recommend more as like an accessory to whatever exercises you do. Because obviously you got to think like the strength or the stimulus of a band is not really the same as like an intense bodyweight exercise or the stimulus through like lifting weights. You see what I'm saying? Because obviously with like the strength curve of the band, it's hardest at one part of the range of motion, but then easiest like at another. So I think you can do it. Obviously it's better than not doing anything, but I would say you'll see better results using like combining body weight with free weights as opposed to resistance band. Or it's like you can do body weight, free weights, and the right resistance band exercises. But again, body weight and free weights is where I'd go with it. So Alex asks, like many others in lockdown, I've bought a set of resistance bands. Could you do a resistance band workout? Yeah, that's a good one. For me, I think more of you are actually requesting body weight workouts. Because again, there's nothing wrong with resistance bands. If you were to use them, I'd use them more as like an accessory to your workouts as opposed to like the whole thing. You see what I'm saying? And again, like your body weight can produce a more powerful stimulus to build strength and muscle and lose fat, right? But again, like I can cover resistance band exercise if you want. But yeah, I would say I would still recommend doing like resistance band as like an accessory to body weight and or weights. You see what I'm saying? And of course I do plan on doing more workouts. I'm actually thinking of doing follow along workouts, right? A lot of my videos in the past, which you'll see, I've got a full playlist of bodyweight and home workouts description below. It's very like, here's the exercises, here's the sets and reps, go do it yourself. Whereas I think some of you actually want to do the workouts with me. Now, if you are interested in that, let me know in the comment section below, because if you want to see follow along workouts, I'd love to do them. Just let me know what type of follow along workouts you want to see. And we can, work out together. So next question here is a good question. Let me see, sorry. TC asks, not only should one count calories, but should someone count macros? There's two parts to this question. So, should someone count calories or count macros? I would say, I personally recommend it because it's just easy to track. Like, what gets measured gets managed. It's like if you're trying to lose weight and you're not losing weight, but you're not actually tracking your food, it's like you're not going to know why you're not actually losing weight. You see what I mean? I would say you don't want to track calories all your life. I'd say if you're tracking calories, you do want to be tracking macros. It's just easier to be more accurate. I'd say for me, I just do it because it makes things easier for me, because I know I'm on my goals. I know I'm on track with my goals if I'm hitting my macros and calories. I would say, like, if you don't want to though, I'd still recommend doing it for several weeks, a few weeks, just to like get a good understanding of food, like how many calories, proteins, carbs and fats are in certain foods and servings. So that way you don't even need to track it anymore. For me, I don't actually weigh my foods because like I know what's in a scoop of oats. I know how much is in a banana. I just log it in MyFitnessPal to keep me on track. So it's personal preference, but I think if you really do want to see results in your health and fitness, you need a good understanding of what you're putting in your body, right? So I would say at least at the start, I would recommend tracking your calories and macros. Like, it will help you so much later on down the road. Because again, if your nutrition's on point, like, your training's going to be much better to do, and it's overall going to be easier to see results. And obviously, another part of this question is maybe discuss the difference between a program for weight loss versus strength versus physique. So basically, weight loss versus strength versus muscle. So you got some good questions. So in regards to that, I would say most of it kind of applies the same principle, like, because it's like strength and muscle. It's like, if you want to build strength, you've also got to build muscle, and if you want to build muscle, you've also got to get stronger at the same time. I would say with weight loss, I would say it depends where you're coming from. If you're talking about someone who wants to lose a lot of weight, like 10, 20 pounds, or someone who just wants to lose some fat, I would say a program for someone with weight loss. Let's say someone is overweight and wants to lose 10, 20 pounds. The way I would get them to start is I would start them with basic, strength conditioning, where like, basic movement patterns, especially, let's say bodyweight home workouts, 10 to 15 reps of basic push-ups, squats and all of that. And then I would then start adding in some lower rep range work as they get stronger. In terms of strength versus physique, it's kind of like, if you want to focus, it's all about specificity of training, right? Obviously, you want to focus more on strength. You want to focus more on that 3 to 5 rep range per se, even 1 to 5 rep range, with a bit of, hypertrophy work of like 6 to 12 reps per se. And if you want to focus more on muscle mass, then more of your training should be tailored towards the 8 to 12 rep range, with a bit of strength work, like 3 to 7 reps. So it's kind of like, specificity of training. You get better at what you train for. I think it's just a case of, when it comes to training, it's all about progressive overload. Obviously getting stronger in order to build muscle and lose fat. But yeah, good question. And the next question Ian asked, Ian, obviously Ian doing this as a client, what are your thoughts on supplements and vitamins? Obviously, if you need any support with that, man, just let me know on WhatsApp. But this is a good question that people can benefit from. Supplements and vitamins are great if you're using them for the right reasons. You see what I'm saying? Like, supplements and vitamins, like, they don't have some magical effect. They are only useful for what you're using them for. It's like, for example, if you're already hitting your protein intake per se, like, having a scoop of protein powder is not going to make your biceps 10 inches bigger, right? It's like, for example, it's supplements and vitamins. It's like, you don't need them if your nutrition's in check. You only actually need them if you need them if you're deficient in something per se. That's the point of supplements and vitamins, is to correct deficiencies to keep your health in place. You see what I'm saying? So I would say, as I said, they can have its place if you're using them for the right reasons. Like, if your body actually needs it, like if you're deficient in zinc, start taking zinc. Obviously, fish oils are great for health. If you have multiple vitamins you're deficient in, have a multivitamin. And then in terms of supplements, Obviously, a lot of people can struggle to hit their protein intake. So that's where protein powder actually has its place. And as well as that, like, I'd say like the only supplement I kind of think of that I would recommend that's like good value for money is obviously like creatine. I personally don't take creatine because it doesn't have a good relationship with acne. But I do have clients who, you know, don't have any problem with acne, so they can take creatine to give them an extra edge to build strength and muscle. So it's all about understanding how supplements and vitamins work. And then if you're deficient in something and you can't actually get it through like whole foods, right? That's where the supplement and vitamin comes into filling your need. Louis asks, what's your opinion on daily protein intake? Obviously the 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, is it necessary or not? I've experimented with this myself. I found that if I have too little protein, I feel absolutely exhausted, right? Workouts are hard, sleep is hard. You need enough protein is used for muscle growth and repair, right? You need an adequate amount of it to actually progress in your training, build muscle, get stronger and lose fat. So that's the rule of thumb that it's science, man. It's been researched for years, right? It's like we might as well take the knowledge that people have taken so many years to actually gather, right? So I think it is needed for most people. Only exception is if you're overweight, like over 20% body fat, let's say, I would go for 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass as opposed to per pound of body weight. And I know as well, obviously coaching vegans, vegans don't actually need as much protein. They usually need only like 0.65 to 0.8 grams per pound of body weight as well. So I would say unless you're following a specific diet that has different needs, I'd say if you're following a basic balanced diet, you can't go wrong with the basic recommendation of 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. You see what I'm saying? Richard asked, so have you always wanted to be a professional coach, and how is your process of thoughts to realize that yes, you can make a living of what you truly like? Obviously I've always wanted to make an impact in the fitness industry, because I knew that ever since I started, I knew that there was just so much BS and misinformation online. And obviously I realized, like, I think the main thought pattern for me was the 5-month bodyweight calisthenics transformation at home, because with how many people it began to inspire and people actually started reaching out for like specific advice and coaching, that's where like I realized, like, yeah, I can actually make a living out of this, you know what I mean? And have I always wanted to be a coach? As I said, you know, starting JG Calisthenics, his YouTube channel initially before rebranding to JG Fitness, I did want to, of course, like make an impact and actually benefit people's lives, improve their health and fitness, while enjoying a healthy lifestyle. And so, like I said, like when I first started out, I didn't think so much of like what I'm gonna do. I was just like, right, make content, help people, and figure it out later. And that's where I realized, like, when I finished my A-levels, I knew I was going to take a gap year because I wanted to start my own business. I knew that at the time, the best way to do it was going to be to coach people, because it's what I was being asked to actually do and help people with. So that's my answer to that. And I think for any advice from anyone who actually wants to do anything similar, just take action, right? It's like commit first and just figure the rest out later. It's all about imperfect action, right? Nathan asked, how old were you when you started calisthenics, and how old are you now? So I started calisthenics when I was 18 and I'm 21 now. It's funny I say that because like some people say, whoa, you look so much older than 21, and other people say, oh, I thought you were 16. I don't know what that's all about. But how long have we been rolling? Oh, we've been rolling for 14 minutes. So can I do cardio before exercise to warm up? You can, just don't make it exhausting. Otherwise it will then impact your workouts, right? You see what I'm saying? Andrew asks, obviously Andrew, as you know, has been on the YouTube channels. We did a collaboration. He asked best YouTube collab so far, winky face, and also favorite exercise to train. Now, best YouTube collab. Honestly, Andrew, like, I really enjoyed my collab with Tom Merrick, the Bodyweight Warrior. I'm joking, man. Honestly, there's no favorite. I just love collaborating and interacting with anyone like-minded. So as I said, I really enjoyed our time together with the videos we did, Andrew, and I can't answer that, man. Like, I can't answer that, right? I love interacting with anyone like-minded and driven, right? So, also favorite exercise to train. I don't have one, man. I really don't. My best exercise to train is freaking keeping this mind healthy by moving my body and getting those freaking endorphins through working out, right? That's my favorite exercise to train. Ed, my man Ed, asked muscle ups, good strength training or pretty yet pointless? It depends on your goal, man. If you want to do the muscle up, then you got to train for it. I would say, if you think about it, the muscle up is a pull up and dip combined. So if you're actually focusing more efficiency, you're best actually doing the pulling and the pushing separately. By overloading the pull up, like doing weighted pull ups and weighted dips, like you're gonna get stronger that way. So it's all about what you're after. If you want to do muscle ups, cool. If you focus more on just getting stronger, building muscle, losing fat in a more efficient way to fit in with your lifestyle and schedule, there's exercises that are, in my opinion, better use of your time. What can you do to train traps effectively with body weight? Lewis asked. With traps, I would say anything overhead. Like, I realized when I did handstand push-ups and handstands, my traps really grew. And also rows, because obviously body rows target more of like the rhomboids and the traps. Those are really good, man. In terms of water intake, so recommendations on water intake, what's too much or too little? I would say just listen to your body. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna sound really weird, but like, look at how you urinate. Like, if it's clear, you're probably hydrated. If it's yellow, you probably need to drink more. But 1 to 2 gallons a day is a good rule of thumb. Like, if you're feeling lightheaded, dizzy and all of that, probably indication I need to drink water. And it's hard to give a recommendation because I don't even track my water intake. It's like, if I'm working out, I know I need to drink. If I'm feeling lightheaded, I know I need to drink. When I'm eating a meal, I know I need to drink some water to help it digest faster. So I'd say just listen to your body, right? If you're feeling awesome, you're probably drinking enough water. If you're not, you probably need to be drinking more water. Thoughts on neck training? It's all about your goals. If you want a bigger neck, sure. If you need it stronger for like boxing and all of that, or any specific sport, sure. Other than that, I don't really have an opinion on it. I've never directly trained my neck, so I haven't needed to. Scott asked, what, if any, supplements do you take and which ones are good and which are a waste of money? Now, I kind of answered this with Ian's question. The ones that are good are the ones that are actually beneficial to your health, that make you healthier, or anything that actually helps you towards your goals. Like, as I said, if you're deficient in protein, then protein powder can help. Ones that are a waste of money are ones you don't need. Like, you know, you don't necessarily need a weight gainer shake, right? To gain mass, when you could literally just make one at home, like with far fewer ingredients that aren't so processed, right? I would say the ones that are a waste of money are just the ones that you don't actually need. And for the majority, a lot of them out there, you don't really need. So last question here is what leg exercises can be done with an injured knee? I wasn't actually laughing at that question because I don't know why I read that question, because there's a question above it, which is, how can I have legs like you? Don't focus on being like me, focus on being a better version of yourself. But train your legs 2 to 3 times a week, focus on progressive overload, and they're going to get bigger and stronger. Sid asked, what leg exercises can be done with an injured knee? Now, this is a hard one, man, because I can't actually assess you for a YouTube video. But just test some basic movement patterns, whether it was body weight or weights, see what hurts. If it hurts, avoid it. Anything that doesn't hurt, you can do that. But I think I can't really give injury advice for a YouTube video, man. You need specific guidance with that. So I highly recommend seeing a physio. And anyone with any injuries, right? I really appreciate you reaching out, asking for help with injuries, but you need to pay someone to check you out and help you out with it. You know what I mean? So that's everything. That's all the questions. Thanks for all the questions. You guys are awesome. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Comment below what you want to see next. As I said, if you want to see follow along home workouts per se, or anything in general, let me know, as I'd love to make them for you. Any Christmas or New Year tips, of course, as obviously the holidays are coming up as I'm making this video right now. And yeah, I think that's everything. Alfie here made a very good contribution to this video. He also told me that obviously if you haven't subscribed yet, you should subscribe to join the crew. And I think that's everything covered. As I said, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I answered your question. As always, we keep moving forward, and I will see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.